with Erica Parker. Ladies first. Ladies first. Ladies first.
Hello and welcome to Ladies First. I am your host, Erica Parker. We have two very interesting and exciting people I want you to meet today. First, we have Judge Mom, Judge Deborah Bennett Winston, who's running for a district civil judge in place 10 of the Bessemer Cutoff. So I want you to vote for her. Also, we have a history-making woman today. Her name is Judge Lanice Washington. She is running for the district attorney in the Bessemer Cutoff. So I'm anxious for you to get to know these women, hear what their platform is, and hear what their plans are for the future. And thank you for joining us on Ladies First today. Back, and thank you for joining Ladies First once again. We have another great candidate in the studio with us today because we're encouraging you to make sure you go vote on November the 8th. Now, I have with me Judge Lanice Washington, who's running for the office of Judge. Tell us what you're running for.
I am Lanice Olive Washington, and I'm running for district attorney for the Bessemer Cutoff Division of Jefferson County.
Okay. Now, you are. Tell me more about the position, Judge.
The DA is basically the chief law enforcement officer, if you would. In addition to making sure that criminals are prosecuted when they commit crimes in the Bessemer Cutoff Division, it's also the job for the DA to educate the community and to be an advocate for those victims that comes through the system.
Okay, so you're going to be an advocate for the victims, educate the community. So this position seems to be all-encompassing, which means you have to know a lot, you have to be a lot of places, you have to do a lot of things. Now, understand about you. Now, let me tell you how that works for me, okay? And I definitely appreciate you being here, Judge. But it sounds to me like this is a person in this position that has to have a heart of compassion, a heart of gold. Okay.
Yes.
Now, tell me what gives you that heart of compassion.
Well, I'm going to have to take you back a little.
Let's go. I'm ready
Because
to go.
Everything starts with the foundation.
Okay.
And when I was younger, my mother, she did not have that formal education. She had third grade education. My dad had an 8th grade education. Okay. And the only thing my mother could tell me was, my family and close members call me Niecy. So the only thing that my mother could tell me would be, Niecy, make sure you do your homework. Do your homework. She couldn't help me with those difficult math problems or anything like that. So she always encouraged me to do well in school, even though she may not, I could have done anything, say, see, Mom, look. And she may not have known the better. But I really respected my mom, and she was a role model for me based upon the things that she did for people in the community. Okay. There was an older lady that lived next door to us, and we lived in East Thomas. And she would always ask my mom, she didn't have any family, and she would always ask my mom to go and buy her groceries. And she would have this long list, but she'd give my mom about $5. Okay. And I was like, Mom, are you serious? Are you really gonna go and get her grocery? And we don't have a whole lot ourselves and all of that. And so my mom is like, you treat others the way you want to be treated. Okay. And no matter what, she always went over to this lady's house, and she knew that she was gonna have less money than she would the items that she needed. And she would still do it with a smile. My mom cleaned houses for a living. And I would go with her during summertime, during, AEA and summer break, and got to know the ladies that she worked for. And they would say, well, Lena, can you want to take some food home for your family? And my mom would say, oh, yeah, she'd take it home. But a lot of times we didn't eat that. And she said, you don't ever turn your nose up to something that people are offering you out of the kindness of their heart, because later on they may offer you something that's better that you would want, but you were not gracious enough to take the small things. So, they're not going to look at you for anything large. But, when I was younger, those people, when they would get new bedroom suits, their old bedroom suits still look new. So, we would get the old stuff and it would look new. And so, she just gave me that foundation. She was a person that with old wives' tale, do unto, well, I ain't gonna say do unto others, you do unto others as they do unto you, because that's in the Bible. But she would always say, just treat people the way you want to be treated. She had these sayings, every tub got to sit on its own bottom. And, and those are the things that grew up in me. And as I sit on the bench for the city of Bessemer, I find myself telling other young people who I call my children. Okay. Every young person that come before my bench, I look at them, I see my son, whether it's a male or a female, and especially our males, because there's an expectation for them to be leaders in the community. But if they have fallen by the wayside and they don't have that foundation, who's going to give it to them? So sometimes we have to make a bad decision. And notice I didn't say mistake.
Okay.
And it was a mistake if they got caught smoking that marijuana or stealing something. But we take a bad decision to make it good, because they have to go back out into our community. So if they go back with a better mindset, then they'll do better. So that it's kind of infectious to other people that's in their environment. So that's what I just love. I have a heart for people.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that, because I want to talk about something that's kind of personal to you, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Now, the last time, okay, so how long have you been judging in the city of Bessemer?
Since February of 2011.
Okay. Now, that was a selected seat, am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. But before then, tell me the story. Let's go back to that story, if you don't mind.
Well, I prosecuted. I was an assistant DA from 2002 to 2010 with the Bessemer DA's office. And when I ran for district judge back in 2010, I had to resign my job as an assistant DA. And, whenever you have an income, a salary, and you quit or resign from a job, that's huge, because you still have those same bills, same mortgage, same car note, and all that. But my husband, at that time, Jefferson County Sheriff's Department was laying deputies off.
Okay.
And he came to me in this time, and I was thinking about running. He was like, well, why don't I just take on a Department of Defense contract? And I was like, no, first of all, what does that mean?
Okay.
And he said, I would go to Afghanistan or Iraq, and I would train the soldiers over there. And I was like, absolutely not. It was so volatile over there. And we fought back and forth until I just said, okay, I just quit. And if you want to go,
kind of big judge to be fighting with.
Well, when we're angry and we have our point, we make our point.
Okay.
Yes, but I don't physically fight.
Okay,
If I do that, I'll just hit him in the head with a lamp and run or something. But make sure he's unconscious.
Right. Okay.
But he decided to take on a contract with the Department of Defense. I relented. I gave in, and he left. And when he left, right before he left, let me go back. And after I had decided to run for DA and I had resigned my position, I had gone to a speaking engagement.
Okay.
And got home that night, and there was this infomercial about breast cancer and how women should do self-check. And I'm sitting fully clothed on my bed, and I was listening to the infomercial, just kind of, woosah. And did one of these numbers, said, I'll tell Dr. Law later. And yes, I did say Dr. Law, I'm giving my personal business out, but I can do that.
Okay.
And it was probably 2 to 3 weeks before I made contact with her. And when I did, it was before my husband left. So I had my ultrasound before he left, not thinking anything. I think it was a day or two before he left. And when the results came back, he was already gone. And I was diagnosed with breast cancer and had to go through chemo, had to go through radiation. I had both breasts removed. Had to go through all of that.
Now, Judge, you just said that you were running for office during that time.
Yes. I kept it under the radar.
Okay.
I did not want anyone to feel sorry for me.
Okay.
I did not want my opponent to feel like, she wouldn't be able to handle the job. She's having to go through this medical situation. And little do you know, the day that I came on, I hope it's okay to say this, WJLD, I was going through my treatment, and I was going through those primary stages before my surgery at that time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so, like I said, very little people knew that, but I lost my hair with the chemo. There's a drug called adriamycin, they call it the Red Devil, and the nurses have to cover their hands and faces because it's so potent. It's poison. It goes in, it kills the bad stuff and the good stuff.
Okay.
So I lost hair, eyebrows, eyelashes. My skin tone turned dark. My nail beds turned dark, and that was during the chemo. My doctor, I drove him crazy because I was diagnosed in August, and my surgery was September the 10th. The election was November 2nd. So this was at the height of my campaign. So I stopped, just thinking about the campaign and start just thinking about living. And I just start walking in my faith of life. And I had to show my then 14-year-old son that you're going to have obstacles in life, but you don't let that stop you. You can go over, under, around, but you have to keep going. And that was the message I wanted to relay to him.
Judge, I have enjoyed this conversation. I've learned a lot about you. I had no idea you were going through chemo while you were actually doing the interaction with all the broadcasting stations that you were involved with. And you look actually gorgeous as you're on the campaign trail even now. I do appreciate you coming now. After you win, you going to come back?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
I would love to come back. I would love to come back as district attorney for the Bessemer Cutoff Division of Jefferson County. And, and can I say this, Erica, that, this election is so important. And it's vitally important. We have so many issues going on in our community. We have issues of voter apathy. We have issues of educational apathy. But it's important that we elect people for the bench and for the DA's office that care, so we can make some positive changes. And so the only way we can do that, we're going to have to encourage everyone, please go out to the polls on November the 8th. It's so vitally important, and vote the candidate of your choice.
All right, I appreciate you coming. Now, you coming back, right?
Yes, I promise.
All right.
As long as I'm invited.
Judge, I have enjoyed the day. I'm actually very excited to have you here and to know that you're going to come back. This is actually one of our very first broadcasts for Ladies First.
Okay.
And so I'm happy to have you here and happy to have you in this inaugural time with us. So, and much success to you.
Thank you.
And so you look gorgeous as always. So we'll be back.
Erica, so tell me, what is the purpose of Ladies First?
Ladies First is for the benefit of women helping women. My favorite story in the Bible comes from Numbers 27. It's about the 5 daughters of Zelophehad. Mala, Hogla, Tirzah, and Milcah, and Noah. There were 5 daughters of the same man that actually changed the law. They were very disciplined women who went in to ask Moses to change the law for their benefit. They were women that had not been married, so they were single women. And Moses, unfortunately, had no accommodations for them in the law. He left them nothing, even though he had a servant, Zelophehad, who was now eligible to own a lot of property. But because he had died earlier, his daughters stood to inherit nothing. And so after a certain point in time, the girl said, wait a minute, if we don't say anything, we won't have anything, which is another scripture for me in the Bible somewhere else. But at the same time, the girls came forth, they unified, they got into a place of consistent directional agreement where they agreed to, hey, let's go ask Moses if we are able to have an inheritance from our father. Just because we're single women and just because we don't have access to so many things that he's made provision for, I do think that we're entitled to this. So I think when women come together, there's nothing you can't change. So the purpose of Ladies First is to teach and show women just how we can get together and do things that normally we wouldn't be able to do on our own.
Wow. Where did the idea come from?
That's where the idea came from. It came from the 5 daughters of Zelophehad. And it also came from you. It came from you by way of how committed and encouraging you are to me. I think every woman needs a woman like you in her life. So I'm happy that you're here today. And I'm happy that you joined this journey with me. So.
I'm glad to be here, especially at 5 a.m. in the morning.
It's 5:30.
Yeah, well, 5:30 in the morning. Gives me 30 minutes extra, but still, I'm excited and I look forward to whatever this feature takes us to.
All right. And thank you. And I enjoy you also. Thank you for being a part of Ladies First here with Erica Parker. So we'll see you next time, y'all.
Hello and welcome to Ladies First with Erica Parker. And today I have a very special guest for me and for you. We have an upcoming election that I want you to pay attention to. And so I have a candidate in studio with me today. And I want to welcome in Attorney Deborah Bennett Winston. Hello, Attorney Winston. How are you this morning?
I'm wonderful, Erica. And how are you today?
I am doing well. I'm doing well. And thank you so much for joining the Ladies First audience today. Now,
well, thank you for having me.
Now, you're actually running for office. Am I correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Tell me, what seat are you running for?
I'm running for District Civil Judge, Place 10 in the Bessemer Cutoff.
Okay. Now, for District Court Judge, Place 10 in the Bessemer Cutoff.
Yes.
Tell me about that seat.
It's the small claims court where you would have a lawsuit that cannot exceed $10,000 or a landlord and tenant lawsuit. The lawsuit can only go as far as $10,000 and you can appeal it to the circuit court.
Okay.
But this is primarily the small claims court that I'm seeking to become the judge.
Okay. I understand that you're actually already a judge.
Well, that is correct. I've had the honor of serving a dual judgeship, actually. I'm a judge in the cities of Midfield as well as Fairfield, and I've been a judge for the city of Fairfield for the last 7 years. And coinciding with that, I've been the judge in Midfield for the last 12 years. Yes.
Now, these two cities are actually adjacent to one another, correct?
They are.
Okay, so if you're in that area and you've had ticket problems, or you had some sort of speeding problems or municipal court problems, then they have seen you.
Of course they have.
Okay.
In the last 12 years, they have.
Okay. Okay, now tell me more about yourself. You know, have I told the audience that this is my mother? So tell me more about yourself and things like that.
I don't think you told them
Okay.
that I'm your mother, but I've had the honor of a beautiful daughter. We are from Bessemer,
Don't
Alabama.
tell my age. Don't tell my age.
Okay. She's a beautiful daughter. I'll stop there.
Okay.
But we're from Bessemer. I'm from Bessemer. I grew up in Bessemer. I'm a product of the Bessemer school system.
Okay.
Received an undergraduate degree from the University of Alabama in Birmingham. And I also received my Juris Doctor degree from Southern University Law Center in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Since I have finished law school, I have been an attorney for the last 25 years.
Okay.
And while being an attorney for 25 years, I have come across all kinds of issues, legal issues, with all kinds of people. So I think that, as a matter of fact, I know I'm qualified for the position that I'm presently seeking.
Okay. Now, you have been in private practice for how many years again?
The last 25
Last
years.
25
I've
years,
owned
okay.
and maintained my law office for the last 25
okay.
years, yes.
Alrighty, so you're from Bessemer.
Yes.
You're
Bessemer, Alabama.
Bessemer, Alabama. And so right now you're running for the judge, you're running for the place 10, the circuit.
District Civil,
Okay.
Place 10.
Okay. Now that encompasses everybody in the Bessemer cutoff area, am I
Yes,
correct?
that does.
Now that's a pretty extensive area. I think that covers from Hoover all the way over to Birmingport, am I correct?
That is correct.
Vast area. Okay.
But the residents of the entire county, Jefferson County,
That's
will
right.
be able to vote for me
Okay.
because I'm on that ballot.
Okay. So I have had a very interesting conversation with you. I've learned a lot about this election. Did not know it was actually small claims court and what the amounts are. So let's see. Now you want to make a plea to the audience today to vote for you?
Oh, of course. I've already established my qualifications. I think this election is very critical. We've had people to die to give us the right to vote. We need to get out and vote. And I am just a servant. And I'm asking you to give me the honor to continue serving you as the District Civil Judge, Place 10.
Now, Judge, I do apologize. I hate to interrupt you there. However, we have missed out a main ingredient to this process. To whom are you married?
I am married to your tax assessor, Pastor Charles R. Winston, Jr., and we have 3 children. We've been married in excess of 20 years. We have 3 children. Our oldest child is Erica. We have Charles the third, and we have Teola.
Okay, so we have a pretty extensive family now. Also, about my little brother, he's actually just won an election himself.
Yes, we're so glad to know that. Excuse me. He is the constable in Bessemer as well. He serves as the constable. Yes.
And my sister, Teola Winston, serves in the United States military in the Army.
In the Army,
Yeah.
yes, and she's presently located in Louisiana.
Oh, that's
Yes.
right, Fort Polk. So I've had a great time, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me, darling.
We have a few more a few more candidates coming in, so we're going to make sure that everybody votes on November the 8th. Is that correct? That's the day.
Please get out and vote November the 8th. Take somebody with you to the poll so everyone in the household can vote. It is very critical. It's pretty much life or death situation. I understand that if we slip up on this one, we will be very sorry for the person who may become the president of the United States. So if you want your candidate to win, it's only up to you. We realize you cannot guarantee us a sure win, but we can guarantee you we cannot win without you. So please get out and vote. November the 8th.
Well, thank you for joining us here on Ladies First, and we look to have you back really soon. Judge Winston, let me ask you one important question. What made you make the decision to run for this particular seat?
Well, Erica, this particular seat became available because the judge that is presently holding the seat is retiring from the bench. And I am interested only in seeking justice, fairness to all. Not to y'all, but to all across the board. And I have been a judge for the last 12 years. I know I will be fair and administer justice to everyone.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Now, you will come back, right?
Of course I will. Thank you so much. I've enjoyed
All right.
it.
I appreciate you being here.
Hello and welcome back to Ladies First. I am so happy and excited that you've joined me once again. But friend, I have to introduce you to another friend of mine, a really good friend. I'll be honest with you, I called her probably less than an hour ago to say, get here, I need you to film with me today because we have some interesting things that we need to talk about. And so I introduce you to my really good friend, Angela, this morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. Now, Angela, give your audience your entire name.
My name is Angela Webb Weinberg.
Now, Angela, what do you do?
I am a marketing director for a group of hospitals.
Oh, wow. Okay, so what does that entail? That means you meet a lot of people.
I meet a lot of people. I get to travel a lot of places. I help kids that are special needs that need any type of mental health services.
Okay, so in that, your husband is actually, I'll let the secret out of the bag. Your husband is actually the political analyst for our show, Ladies First.
Yes, I think
So we'll be sending Martin Weinberg on occasion. So I didn't call him today. I called Angela instead because we have a lot to talk about as it relates to and concerning women. We're in the middle of an election year.
We are, thank God. When will it be over?
I'm feeling the same way, but many people talk about the two names that are at the top of the ballot, but that's not necessarily what we're here to talk about today.
No, we need to focus more on our local elections because they actually influence our life a lot more than they do on the federal level.
That's true. Now, when we talk about local elections, we have several offices here in the state of Alabama, in Jefferson County, that are coming up. We have several judge seats.
18.
Oh my goodness. We need 18 judges?
Too many.
Okay. So, and then we also need DA seats, the district attorney, the person that makes the decision as to whether or not you will go to jail or be charged with a crime. So we need to really focus on those elections now, as opposed to just the normal.
And don't forget the treasurer.
Oh yeah. How can I forget the wonderful treasurer that we already have in place? Today I want to make sure the audience knows as much as they can as to why it's important to vote and to vote in your local elections as well as your presidential elections. Yes, it is a historic year, but it's a historic year for so many seats. Namely, two of the people that you'll meet today. You're going to meet Judge Deborah Winston. I apologize. And you're also going to meet Judge Lenise Olive Washington. So those two people, I want you to hear them, hear their platform, and hear what their plans are for the future. Also, Angela, in addition to the local elections and the different things for there, I want the audience to understand and to know that with the local elections, we do have several seats. As you said, we have 18 seats available. But what's the significance of what we have available? The different seats, the civil division, the criminal division, and the district attorneys.
Well, we have several seats that are available on the district side, which are criminal as well as the civil sides. So those are the ones that deal with any type of lawsuits that are under $10,000. Then we also have our criminal section that are basically the seats that juries sit in, as well as others that are needing any type of capital murder cases, rape cases, all of those major felonies that are on that side. And then we have our assistant treasurer that's available as well that holds our money.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to know where my money's going. So you need to make sure that the right person's in that seat.
And definitely want to know who has my money. Where is the money? That's what we need to know. Where is the money?
That's a big question.
Exactly. And I really appreciate you being here. I can't say that enough to you today. But, your husband actually ran for one of those seats a few years ago.
Yes, he did. In 2014, he was the Democratic nominee for the criminal division. And that is one of the highest courts that we have in Jefferson County. It is where all of the felonies go. So it's very important. And I try to tell people, I had the conversation today with one of my neighbors of why am I voting for the people that I'm voting for? And I don't vote because of a party. I don't vote because of a race. I vote for what that person stands for. And when a person runs for an office, they are a public servant. And I believe that they not only need to do a job, but they also need to be a public servant to us. And if they don't have any kind of community services and they're not helping any of the people in our area, then they don't need my vote.
You know, speaking of community service, that's something that we do all the time. We make a concerted effort to make sure that Angela and I, go out personally, not necessarily affiliated with a company. Sometimes it's with a company, but we make sure that we go out and participate in community service and give back, because people have given so much to us and we want to return the favor. So community service is very important. And when Angela says that you want to make sure that your candidates have participated in some form of community service, that's how you know the tree by the fruit it bears. What fruit do they bear by way of their community service?
Exactly. And, you know, it's very, I'm humbled. I'm thankful and blessed of all the opportunities that I've been given. And I'm hoping that the people that we have in these seats, that they understand that they are servants for us. They are public servants that we have elected in these particular seats that need to be able to answer and be accountable to us.
Oh yeah. Accountability is extremely important. You know, accountability means they answer to you, not just during the time in which they need your vote. They also answer to you during the time in which they don't need your vote. When you need something, their accountability is to respond to your needs. That's the purpose. That's the purpose in which they are running for. So it's not just for political gain. It's not just for the appearance. It's not just for what they think it's for. It's for you also. The whole purpose of them running is for you. It's not about them. It's never about them. It's all about you. And so today we want to make sure that the reason why we have brought in candidates today is because we want to make sure that you get to know them and know their platforms and know if their interests are compatible with yours. That's very important to the both of us, for you to know whether or not your candidate's interest mirrors your interest.
I concur.
You know, it's been an interesting day. It will be an interesting show, but I want you to stay tuned for Ladies First for week after week, because we do have exciting and more information to come. We do have an attorney to come that's going to give you information about veterans benefits. We have information from local county offices, local departments that will tell you about what they provide for you and to you, and how you can take advantage, how you can save money. That's very important to me. We talk about money all the time, and so we want to make sure that you know how you can save money on your taxes, how you can save money with your property, how you can save money with your business. Those are the type of things that we're going to talk about all the time. And if you stay tuned right here to Ladies First, we'll appreciate it.
Well, Erica, and I'm glad. Thank you for doing this show and letting people know that there's informative information out there, and continue to be successful in the things that you're doing. And any way that we can help, we definitely will.
Oh yeah, you've helped simply by being here today. You have helped simply by being here today. Thank you for joining us again, and I hope you found the information today very informative, and I hope you join me next week as we bring you an equally as an informative show. Thank you again for watching Ladies First. I am your host, Erica Parker. We'll see you next time, y'all.
With Erica Parker.